One of the most praised of the Lumet films, one of the most acclaimed films which Al Pacino ever performed in, Dog Day Afternoon is probably widely considered one of the best films of 1975. The Academy certainly thought so where America is concerned, and in arguably the most consistent quality set of Best Picture nominees in history, Dog Day Afternoon stood very tall with the likes of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the eventual winner, Jaws, probably my personal favourite of this grouping, Barry Lyndon, and Nashville. A film I think is a bit overrated, a non American sick of Altman hogging world cinema discourse like the be all end all of the medium are these American things about American Americans. It is an immensely entertaining film, superbly executed, one of the more enrapturing mainstream English language films of the 1970s. It could be the best film Al Pacino was in, excluding the first two Godfather films, this or the other Lumet directed Pacino classic 73 Serpico. The other classic films of 1975, in my mind, that I've discussed on this channel before at least, Peter Weir's Picnic at Hanging Rock, represent, of course, Kurosawa's Dersu Uzala, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Frankenheimer's French Connection 2, an inferior but still fairly underrated, wholly strong sequel, Cronenberg's Shivers, a terrific and underrated piece, Tarkovsky's Mirror, Clint Eastwood's enjoyable spy escapade, The Eiger Sanction. Clint could direct a film when he wanted to, certainly in his heyday. Chantal Ackerman's Jean Dielman, to appease the aggressively art house or vacuously political of you. No, seriously, it is a monumental cinematic compositional achievement. Ackerman's status as a technical visionary is cemented by that title. Nikos Nikolaidis' magnificent and underrated work Eurydice BA 2037, perhaps not for everyone, but a rhapsodic feature which it's a compelling apotheosis of human culture up to that moment in history. Lucio Fulci's Four of the Apocalypse, a mix between a spaghetti western and a horror film, without bringing in any supernatural elements either. Paul Bartel's Death Race 2000, why not, you know? Umberto Lenzi's ruthless poliziesco Manhunt in the City, and hey, if you want a solid werewolf flick, try Freddie Francis's 1975 film Legend of the Werewolf. As far as the category of bank robbery or just heist-related films go, released in the 1970s, the only pictures seemingly superior to Dog Day Afternoon in this bracket are two films directed by Jean-Pierre Melville, Le Cercle Rouge and Un Flic. Otherwise, I'd even place Dog Day Afternoon over rather strong films such as The Friends of Eddie Coyle, Miles's Dillinger, John Flynn's The Outfit, The Taking of Pelham 123, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, The Driver, Killer Force, and Kinji Fukasaku's films Gambling Den Heist and Violent Panic. Some have complained that Dog Day Afternoon is too frustrating, a series of capers and hijinks, or a film that gets overly ridiculous. The handling of the transgender character can be critiqued by both a more regular old school audience who is averse to that just as an idea, which is unfortunate, as they are just a human. And it is genuinely what happened in the John Vojtovich heist of 1972. Actually, the real Vojtovich, whom Pacino's Sonny Wartznick is based on, was paid $7,500 and 1% of the film's net profits. It's the $7,500, that was the deal for him to sell the rights to the story, which apparently went to the individual Leon was based on, Elizabeth Eden's reassignment surgery, as the character had claimed in the film that he wanted to front the money for. Though also, it is easy to imagine some now claiming that the film treats the issue, this individual on the LGBTQ continuum, as a weak, hysterical mess. Perhaps some consider it unflattering or needlessly comedic. That may be true, but given the times, it really tried, and it certainly was attempting to be more progressive or honest than most films around it at the time. Highly thoroughly entertaining, intensely tragic, we experience the same Stockholm Syndrome as the hostages in the film do. We really like Sonny and Sal, hope they get away, but also, like the onlooking public, our perception of him drastically changes when we learn of his real motivations. Though should it change? Is that something at fault with us? Dog Day Afternoon is impressively slightly meta like that, and I would argue that along with Failsafe, The Offense, Serpico, and Network, it was one of the 5 best films which the quite consistent and entirely gifted Sidney Lumet ever directed over 6 decades of helming feature works.